Hi guys, and welcome back to Chitty Chats. In today's episode, I want to touch on the lasting effects of COVID-19 in regards to our routine, and as we gradually reapproach normality, methods in which we can wean ourselves back into a regular routine, as well as the importance of this. Now, just to begin, I want to explore how my life has personally changed since the COVID lockdown. My time in lockdown has been a bit of a roller coaster, and therefore not so unusual that my routine has also gone slightly pear-shaped. What I mean by a roller coaster is it's been very, very up and down. The first time that we heard about the pandemic, there was a level of, wow, this is weird. Then it got to the stage where I was actually sent home from work, and that was when things really began to funk up. It was a strange day, and that was especially strange because there was such a level of uncertainty in the air. We didn't know how long this would last, what to expect, whether we'd be working from home. And of course, it was something very, very new to everybody. Then when I got home, I went through a personal struggle of indulging back in bad habits. I was drinking, I was smoking, I went back to smoking cigarettes. And then I kind of reeled myself back in and gathered my thoughts, reflected on what I was doing, and decided to then focus on more positive things such as crafts and gardening. And then as time went on and I realised that I was going to be at home for a lot longer, given the fact that I do live alone, it was then a struggle of feeling quite anxious and isolated. And only recently, as the government has been a bit more lax on restrictions and we are now able to see more friends and more family, I felt more happier and definitely less anxious and a little bit more comfortable and secure in that sense. And obviously now, as the government have begun to ease on lockdown restrictions, a lot of us are now going back to work and back to school. So it's really important that we ease ourselves back into routine before that sort of takes effect. I know some of us have already gone back to work and gone back to our routine, but some of us are not yet, and I'm one of those people. I know some people also didn't stop working, so definitely my applauds go out to them. I thought of different ways in which I could help you guys wean yourselves back into routine, because ultimately routine is something that anchors us. And blurtitout.org discusses ways in which we can do that, and ways in which routine is especially important for us, for our mental and physical well-being. So I picked out 3 main things that I thought were quite key to this. One of those is our sleep routine. So one of the things that having a regular routine can really help with is sleep. And sleep is really important for our mental health, because going to bed and waking up at a similar time most days allows our body to get used to our sleep-wake cycle and sets our sleep-wake cycle clock accordingly. This means that by having a regular sleep routine, especially if we build in some time to wind down before we go to bed each day, we should begin to find that we find it easier to get to sleep and sleep better once we are asleep. Now, this has definitely impacted me, because I would be used to going to bed early, waking up very early for work. However, since the lockdown, I have to say I've been going to bed excessively late and waking up excessively late. And this has really changed my day-to-day, my routine. Everything is kind of topsy-turvy. And I feel like sometimes I wake up and I miss the majority of the day, and it's like I'm living mainly in darkness, which is obviously not good anyway. Although now it's quite, the sun goes down quite late and rises quite early. So for that reason, I'm not missing out too much, but at the same time, you do feel that you have wasted a significant part of the day, especially when the sun is at its peak. So a sleep routine is definitely important, and one way that we can get back into that, one thing that I did certainly is, although I couldn't go to bed as early as I wanted in order to wake up as early as I wanted initially, I just went bed when I could because I couldn't sleep any earlier, and then I forced myself to wake up much earlier. And I was tired the first few days doing this because my body needed more sleep, obviously. However, eventually I got back into the routine of going to bed earlier because I was tired enough to sleep now earlier, and then wake up earlier because now I've had enough sleep. So that's definitely one way of doing it. Another point that Blurted Out mentions is our daily habits. So having a routine can help us to cultivate positive daily habits and to prioritize self-care. Organizing our time gives us the opportunity to build in blocks of time for things that are important to us. This can allow us to build in daily habits that help us with our mental health. It could include things like time to relax or regular bedtime. When they're part of our routine, it can make it easier to keep up with them because we have the time to do them and they become our normal. So that's definitely very important. So daily habits could even just be having breakfast at like 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you do that regularly enough, then it becomes second nature almost, and you don't have to think twice about it. And this kind of ties in really well with reducing stress, which is another thing that Blurted Out comments on. So having a daily routine can help to reduce our stress levels. Trying to remember things can be really stressful and can fill our brains up with everything on our to-do list, which can be incredibly overwhelming. When we have a routine, a lot of the things we do day to day slot in, and we don't have to think about them anymore. For example, when we're well, we don't have to remember to clean our teeth because we know from habit that teeth cleaning comes after breakfast every day. Routine can take the guesswork and uncertainty out of bits of our day, which can allow us to feel more in control and less stressed. Again, that is absolutely true. When you have things that you have to do and you procrastinate, which is another thing that I mentioned in one of my previous podcast episodes about the importance of procrastination, but this kind of again ties in with that. And it's like when you create that habit and that thing becomes second nature and you don't have to think about it, then in turn you don't have to stress about it because you just do it. One thing that my mother always taught me was the things that she really hates doing. She always said, I said to her one day, Mum, how do you do this every single day? I don't think about it, I just do it. And actually it really works. So I recommend using that blueprint. So overall, being in a routine is essential for our overall well-being. We become more efficient, increasing the success rate of our daily tasks, reduce our stress levels overall, and improve our mental health. As a finisher, I'll leave you with a poem about routine. And this one is written by somebody called Dara Meredith. And I thought it was quite a cool little poem, actually, that was very relevant. Alarm set for 5, but I always wake up just before. Roll out of bed, get my feet on the floor. Stretch for 10 minutes, wake my body up. The kettle, tea bag, milk and large cup. Turn on some good music. The house feels alive. Get everything done before the bus will arrive. Cook up some eggs, avocado and meat. Sip on my tea and enjoy what I eat. Shower and dressed, head out the door. Press G in the lift, down to the ground floor. Hop on the bus, hope the traffic is light. 20 minutes later and the school is in sight. Clock in at the office, Then to my classroom I go, set up for my classes, soon the kids will show. Morning assembly, the national anthem they sing. As soon as it's over, the first bell starts to ring. Student-centered learning, explore and figure out. Hands up for a question, always one or two who shout. Reading, writing, speaking and develop language skill. Improving day by day, their potential they'll fulfill. Yard duty every day, standing out in the sun. Some relax, some play, they all have some fun. In the cafeteria, they have pizza, cakes and candy mix. The options are unhealthy, something I can't fix. A few more hours in class, then we hear the final bell. Emails from parents, how many you just can't tell. Organise the desk, set up for the next day. Grab the bus again, light traffic, we still pray. Home and make dinner, usually something light. Books open for some study, another busy night. 20 minutes yoga and outside to run on the street. Some miles in the legs and some aches in the feet. Routines can be boring. For me it works out fine. The work-life balance, when to draw the line. Keep it simple and be happy. Enjoy what you do. Follow your passion. Be honest and be true. So that is that poem. And as mentioned in the poem, in the last stanza, routines can be boring. So again, it's something that definitely unites us. You're not alone, but it does make us better and more effective human beings. So that is it from me, guys. Do stay tuned for the next episode where I interview yet another author, Matthew Zinman.